We're here working on the Mustang right now because I've been having an issue with my breather filling up, and this breather right here, when this was in the car, was right here in this area, obviously way lower, but wind would just come into here, especially when I don't have my hood on, and would just pressurize this thing and just spray it out everywhere. So we're going with a different route. And the other thing that we're doing that's key here is we're going to be moving my breather, which it's already moved.
It is moved. I'm already done.
Look at that. It's already on there. Nice motion. It's upside down. Oh my goodness.
You can't make it go right side up.
Oh, they have a left and a right side.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. But anyways, that's on there. Moving this breather to right here from right here, I think is what's going to make the difference between filling that thing up and not filling it up. So we're going to do 1-16 line, just go right back, and I'm going to put, I have a really small, it's a 1 quart puke tank that's going to, square puke tank that's going to go right here. And I'm just going to run a little line to drain it, and hopefully that will fix all our issues with the oil leaking everywhere on this thing. So can't have that. We're gonna keep working on this thing. We'll put the puke tank in it. I changed the alternator, just miscellaneous crap. And then we'll be ready to load up and go to the NMCA race in Norwalk. I can't believe we're driving this thing. Big bro. All right, guys. We're here today and we're loading things up, and I've got this car all around so that we can go racing. So we're going to go to Norwalk in Ohio to go to the NMCA 6 shootout and go run Tom Bailey's race. So I'm pretty excited. It's the first time that I'm going to be running his race. First time I'm going to have the car out at a race with the new converter. You saw I was only able to get the couple of test passes in. Didn't get too much done really. I mean, I got a feel for what the car is going to do and what I want it to do and where we're at on it right now. But we're gonna load up, head over to Norwalk. Tomorrow is gonna be a test day, so I'm hoping to get at least 1 or 2 test passes in. Get this thing dialed up and try to go run some cars, I guess. I don't know, it's gonna be pretty hard to beat that and this, but miracles happen every single day. So I'm just sitting here praying that I can put a whooping on my dad for some miracle reason. That would be awesome. But mostly just trying to go have fun. That's what it's all about. So we're gonna get this stuff loaded up and I'll see you guys in Ohio. Right a little bit. You're not coming off.
You just gotta go towards you.
All right, we're here in Ohio. Got up bright and early in the morning. Made the, what was it, like 5.5 hour drive?
Something like that.
Like 5.5 hour drive down here to Norwalk. We're here at the track. It's a beautiful, cool day. The air's feeling really good. We're here pitted right next to Tom Bailey. And we're gonna start getting things underway, getting unloaded, and then we're gonna do some test passes today at some point. I don't know what the schedule looks like, but we'll see. I think the air is pretty good today. I haven't looked at the barometer or anything, but what do you think?
There's a lot of pavement here. Nobody's on the track.
Like almost every track that we go to, there's most of the pit is not paved.
Yeah.
This is the exact opposite. All the pit is paved. Everything is paved, which I really like.
Over there, I guess. But
Yeah, and in the middle.
yeah. No, it's all cool, man.
So we're gonna start getting stuff unloaded, and we'll see you guys when I go for our first test session. All right, we're out here. We're ready to go for our first pass. I'm hyped up. I'm ready to go. I'm trying to get this thing down in the 8th mile. So we're late already. So we're on our way right now. Well, it went all right. That was a good first test pass, but I'll tell you what, I got down to the end there and me and my dad were talking and I look over at this thing and it is just smoking like a freight train. Well, guess what? Popped open the hood and that breather tank that we put in there, 10 times worse than the last one. So it is just freaking pouring out of there. I know there's nothing wrong with the engine. It's just something. Oil in the top end keeps coming out of the, I don't know. We've tried 20 different fuel tanks, took oil out of it, different weight oils, you name it. Thing just fills up the fuel tank. I can't get it to stop. So we gotta reconsider some things there, I guess. Try and fix that for this race so it's not pouring oil all over my engine and back of the car and underneath the car. And so I gotta take a look at that. Let's see. All right, so I've got the filter off of there. I just pulled it right off and then looked down there in the tank and it is most of the way full. That's an issue. It could be that it's just slightly overfilled on oil. That's why it's keeping a lot of top oil or top end oil in it and then putting it in that tank. But I don't know, there's literally nothing I can do to change this right now. The only other thing that we have not done yet is put a restrictor oil galley plug in the lifter circuit to keep oil from congealing up in the top end and not returning back to the pan. Obviously I have to take the intake manifold off it to do that. Just not gonna do that this weekend. Hoping that we're just it'll solve itself. I don't know, there's not really another option. So, and then the other issue, and I think I'm gonna end up having to go no bumper on this thing because I do not have a tie strap for my turbo exhaust here. So if you look down here, or actually look at the bumper, is something missing there? Yeah. So that turned. All right, so I lied. There's never not any option. I was able, actually, since we're at an NMCA race and they have the privilege of having, you know, a bunch of vendors here, I was able to buy another catch can. So I'll have 2 catch cans on it and a fitting and a line. So I'm gonna put this little cheap plastic fuel tank in it for now. There's a secondary one. And if 2 doesn't fix it, then we'll probably not have an option. But yeah, just have to put that lifter restrictor in it, I guess, if that doesn't fix it. But I'm hoping that this fixes this. I have a long, oily weekend to take care of if that's not the case. So, and of course, you know, when that happens, it pushes a bunch of oil out of there. It all just goes down the underside of the car. It just coats everything with a thin layer of oil. So I have a bunch of cleanup to do, unfortunately. But I'll put this on there, hope it works. right, so that pass went terribly for the both of us. He bailed out because couldn't get it to do a burnout. We think that the problem with why it wouldn't do a burnout is just there's hardly any water in the water box. So he bailed out on it. Even I could barely do a burnout in this car. There's hardly any water. So the little burnout that I did do, I decided it was like, oh, I guess it's close enough. So put it in the beams. It died on me in the burnout, which it never has done that before. It just completely cut. It's just weird. Start it back up, drive up to the line, comes up on the chip fine, and it's literally a tenth of a second of me letting off the trans brake, it shut the car off again. So I'm in here looking at the data log, and you can see right here our red line. Let me clear some crap out of the way. Our red line right here is RPM. You see it was up on the chip. It flashed the converter when I let go. It was starting to climb, and then all of a sudden, boop. Well, obviously the engine didn't just do that. Died, and I did not pedal it. My foot was on the floor. So I just completely lost. Yeah, then my target dome went away. Yeah, it just got all freaked out. And I'm thinking that my only guess right now, because I've already looked at the crank sensor, I've already looked at the cam sensor, I'll keep looking some more on electrical stuff, but I think that what the issue is I'm charging this battery too much. It's too high voltage. So we were worried that that was going to be an issue when I put the alternator belt on, just because I need to have it on to do the street drive, obviously, of this part of the race. So I've got my only option, I think, right now to try and fix this would be to just run it without the alternator belt, which is what I did when I went testing. I didn't ever have an issue when I ran the alternator, no testing, or when I was testing, no alternator. I think that the best way to go about this is probably just take the belt off and then see what happens. And I think it'll be okay. But that's all the testing that we've got for today, so that pretty much wraps up Thursday. So I will see you guys first thing in the morning tomorrow. All right, so we're back here. It is Friday morning. We're getting ready to go up for our first pass. Last night was working on the car, figured out there was a cam sensor issue, and it looks like the high voltage from alternator, just running too much voltage, killed the cam sensor. So I have another cam sensor, but for now, for this pass, in the Holly, what you can do is you can just tell it to ignore the cam sensor after the start, and then just run it like that. So that's what I'm gonna do this first pass, and then we'll see. I mean, I don't want to put a new cam sensor that I just paid for on it and then just immediately burn it off. So they're just wrapping up Pro Mod out there, I think, and then we're gonna go up there. So short shifting it a little bit this tune up, and I've got a little bit more boost in it. So we'll see what it does. I'm hoping for a 120 something 60 foot is what I know it should go. I think the track is gonna be pretty good. It was pretty good yesterday. So I think it will hold some power. So I put 2 more pounds of boost at the leave, same RPM, 2 more pounds of boost across the whole boost curve. So we'll see what it does. I mean, I'm hoping for 520s, 530s, just 20 pounds of boost, and we'll keep chipping away on it from there. But I'll see you guys out there.
Vehicle and you can get some things. NFCA All-American.
I said 120 60 foot is a 1299.
Go.
So it seems like it hooked up pretty good. So we're gonna just keep putting more power to that 60 foot, and then mile an hour 135 out the back. So it's got decent mile an hour. I'll probably just have to put a little bit more power to it. Just, I'm not trying to break everything, so I'm just sneaking up on it, making sure everything's good, all the health checks pass, and we're good to put more power to it. And I think we are now. I just need to make sure that that secondary catch can that I added is not filled up, which I didn't see it dripping oil and I didn't see it smoking when I pulled off the big end. So I think that we're okay there. But gotta check that, just check the data log, and I think we're just gonna keep putting more power to it. All right, so I've pulled up, opened the hood, and there's no oil drizzling all over everything, so that's a good sign. I think ultimately, we just need more breather on it. I think the dash 16 and that small tank, like it being a 16 is enough, but all the air can only escape through right here. So it would make sense if all the air, the crankcase pressure from the engine is coming up to this one little spot. I could believe that it could send oil up there too. We got the secondary one, which is taking away some air. So we're just creating, just trying to vent as much crankcase pressure to the atmosphere as possible is what we're really doing. And it seems to be working. So I'm gonna drain both of these. I just drained this one. It doesn't look like it drained a ton. So that's looking good. Just running off the crank sensor, I told it to ignore the cam sensor, seemed to work, left fine, 129 60 foot, so can't complain. Let's go look at the data log. Look at this thing all dusty, man. It was up there and there's gravel around the big end, and I just cut that corner too hard and just, I pulled around and this thing was full of freaking gravel. Sucks. All right, so we got the data log downloaded from the ECU, and I'm looking over things. Everything is looking good. Our oil pressure is looking okay. It's a little bit lower than I would probably like it to be, but I am running to try and resolve some of the oil pressure, or not oil pressure, but the crankcase tank filling up. I had to switch oil weights to try and get it to return back to the pan better. So instead of a 2050 like what I normally run, I'm running a 10W30. So it's a little bit thinner oil, so that's probably why the pressure has dropped down a little bit. We're 60 to 70 pounds throughout the run, which is fine. I'd like to see a little bit more, but it's fine for what we're doing right now. Peak at 30 pounds. No timing at all in it, and I'm gonna keep it that way. So everything's looking good. Everything is in check. Just need to get after this 60 foot. I'm having some issues right here with the boost spike. You can see right here, our dome pressure is basically in check, but it just spikes right here to 23 pounds. But I mean, the tire took it, so maybe I just need to throw more at it. Climbs up through there. You guys can see this blue line is our boost. So it's not exactly the smoothest line. And then I did feel it lay over out there. So I have this thing dumping dome pressure at like 5.2 seconds out basically, just because my goal is to run right there right now, and there's no point in throwing a bunch of boost out here when the time has already passed. So just killed the power right there. I think ultimately I'm just gonna move this whole curve up, move this whole curve up. Still kind of struggling to build boost right here, but it did leave on more boost than I think I've ever left on before. Yeah, I left right just at about 14 pounds. And I'm thinking maybe the reason why it's spiking right here is just because it's running up on the converter. Like it flashes to 6,700, 6,800 almost. So hopefully if I throw more at it and I can leave on more boost down here, it won't do this big spike right here and then lay over and then come back up, and then, you know. So we'll go over that. I'm ultimately just gonna probably throw more power at it, keep going. Everything looks good. the deal is, it should have been way faster than that. For some reason, it just slowed down just a tick after I put more power to it. So I just gotta look at the data log and see what's going on. This thing is perpetually stuck, way slower than it was before. I'm just kind of pissed off about it, honestly, at this point, because I put more power to it. It should have gone faster. The track held it fine, but we just, like I said, we'll look at the data log, see what's going on. That was the last pass for today, so that pretty much wraps up Friday's events.
Yep.
So we'll reconvene and figure out what's up, I guess. All right, guys, so we got the data log out here. Data log looks good. Immediately, I figured out what the issue was. For some reason, it could have been my fault. I could have just done something dumb and forgot to send it to the ECU, but I swear that I sent it to the ECU before we went on the street drive to go to lunch. So came back after the first pass today, uploaded the new tune, converted it to the street, put the alternator belt back on it, drove to lunch, drove back, got ready for my second pass, and I thought it was ready to go. I thought I had the new tune in it. Go up there, I leave, and as soon as I left, I knew, like, it doesn't feel like it's any faster. It should have been way faster. Turns out that somehow it did not take the tune, or I did not send it. One or the other. I'm gonna say that it didn't take it because I'm almost 100% sure that I sent that tune to the ECU. But all the vital signs look good. It made 28 pounds of boost. Oil pressure looks good, fuel pressure looks good. No corrections on. Everything's looking really good. So I just changed a couple of small things in the tune that I had from earlier today, and I sent that to the ECU. But unfortunately now I gotta wait for tomorrow, which tomorrow is starting eliminations. So, but I think that I'm gonna be okay for the most part, unless I draw like the Gen 3 Hemi, Fox body, or who else is running in my class that's like faster than I am?
Again.
My dad, that's true. There's my dad for sure. If I draw my dad, I'm just
How
screwed.
fast does Aiden go?
Aiden's been struggling. I mean, Aiden, he's made a ton of laps in that car at like 520, which I know for a fact this car will do 5.0s because I've gone that fast in this car. So, but in its current form with all the changes that I've done, it's right now stuck in the 550s for some reason. But tomorrow, hopefully, it will be going like 520s. So.
Yeah.
If he makes a really good pass, it'll be a really good race. If I race Aiden, there's the orange Camaro that I ran the last pass. He goes 550s, but he's a new driver. He needs to put some more laps in the car.
The Duster?
The Duster, how fast is he going?
I know.
I think the Duster might be a good race if I race the Duster. So the only two guys I really gotta worry about is my dad and that Gen 3 Hemi Fox body, the purple one. Those are the two fastest guys right now because Tom Bailey's on it. But yeah, it should be some good racing tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see you guys then. Oh, that wasn't too bad. He beat me by just a thousandth of a second. So.